pain. That's all I feel. Pain. I am in pain. Pain is all I feel. At least we'll probably still go 9-8. But all I feel is pain. Hello, Steeler Nation. Welcome to another episode of Steelcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Steelers fan. But it sure does help. I'm your host, Zach. We got more December football. Playoffs are right around the corner. Attack! And today we're going to be breaking down the Week 14 NFL 2023 season predictions. Just 5 weeks left before the playoffs. Most of these teams are going to be fighting for their playoff spots. And it's going to be glorious to watch. So let's go on ahead and start with the Thursday night football game. You have the New England Patriots taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Last week was terrible for both of these teams. The Patriots getting shut out by the Chargers, but only allowing 6 points in the process. The Patriots could have won that game if only they had an offense. Something we used to not have until we fired Matt Canada. And then, speaking of the Steelers, lost to the Arizona Cardinals. Don't ask me how. But yeah, like half our squad got injured during that game. It was not pretty. Kenny Pickett's going to be out this week. Mitch Trubisky is going to be in. But over these past 4 days since that massacre, the Steelers signed Penn State legend Trace McSorley to their practice squad. And he actually played for the Patriots for a short time. Maybe he can tell us how to beat them. I don't know. But, yeah, he was drafted by the Ravens. Actually had a stint with the Cardinals for a little bit. But his stats have not been very good. But, yeah, we'll see how that signing works out for us. But, oh yeah. This is going to be a terrible game. I am going to pick the Pittsburgh Steelers to win. But if we don't, I might take a break next week and just let Wildflower or maybe Grunty Boy take over. Because if we lose, I might not feel happiness ever again. Now, for the Sunday game, the first one, you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Atlanta Falcons. The Bucs beating the Panthers. It was actually a little bit of an interesting game. The Panthers were actually grooving a little bit, but it really just came down to the Tampa Bay offense and Mike Evans with another 1,000-yard receiving season. He's just good. Mike Evans is just goated. But then you have the Atlanta Falcons, who are right now undefeated in division games against the NFC South. I don't make that up. I am not making that up. Like, they are literally undefeated in the division right now. And I don't see that changing this week. I have the Atlanta Falcons winning this game. Sure, they beat the pants off the Jets, but like the Jets have a good defense, so it all works out. Doesn't matter at home, the different monster in the Falcons, you get the dub. And you continue your winning streak. Then you have the Detroit Lions taking on the Chicago Bears. Didn't we have this matchup like a few weeks ago? Or am I tripping? Regardless, the first time these teams play each other, the Bears put a show against the Lions defense, and then Lions roared on back last second. Last week, the Lions were winning 21-0, and allowed the Saints to come right on back. But they still ended up winning, so I guess it's fine. And then the Bears, well, had a bye week last week after beating the Minnesota Vikings the week prior. But honestly, I don't think it's going to matter. I have the Lions winning this game. Chicago, at least you're going to have a good draft pick. 2, actually. You just got to hope that some of the other 4-win teams actually win another game. So you actually stay in the top 10, maybe even top 5. Because you get the first overall pick again. So, I mean, at least you have that. Watch them take Marvin Harrison Jr. and then ruin the Cardinals' dreams. That would actually be hilarious. Anyways, then you have the Indianapolis Colts taking on the kitty goes meow, the Cincinnati Bengals. The Colts and the Bengals both winning actually last week, and the Colts beating Titans in an actually intriguing game. The Mayo Man and the Titans kept it close for a while, and then overtime happened and the Colts won. But that's it. That's another story. And then the Bengals also went into overtime with the Glitter Kitties and the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Browning actually had himself a good game. T-Law got hurt during that game, so you hope he's okay. But yeah, I do have the Colts winning this game only because even though Jake Browning had a good game, it was against a Jaguars defense that wasn't really putting up much of a fight. And it was really much of an offensive shootout. And the Jaguars put like 31 points on the Browns defense. So, yeah, I have the Colts winning this game. And the kitty go ow. Then you have the Glitter Kitties and the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Cleveland Browns. The Browns allowing Joe Flacco to have a start only for, their defense to get walked on. But you would expect that with people like Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, Kareem Williams, and, of course, the GOAT himself, Cooper Kupp. And then in the Jacksonville Jaguars, well, T-Law got hurt, so that's really going to impact them. I do have the Browns winning this game mainly because of Trevor Lawrence being hurt. But if he plays this week, expect the Jaguars to come out swinging and probably win. But I will tip my hat to the Browns this week, unfortunately. But Jaguars, if you have some scheme that I don't know about, win. And you have the Carolina Panthers taking on the New Orleans Saints. You know the drill by now. Whenever the Panthers play someone, we pick the other team to win. But the Saints last week, coming back against the Lions, Derek Carr went down again. So you had famous Jameis Winston come in, and guess what he did? He did what only famous Jameis can do. Roar right on back. And they still lost. Yep, I do have the Saints getting a rebound here against the Carolina Panthers. And, well, that's about it, actually. Then you have the Houston Texans taking on the New York Jets. The Texans, the Strouds, depending on who you talk to, because their entire team is literally CJ Stroud. But that defense stepping up last week against the Denver Broncos, getting the win, and the Jets, well, they're the Jets. Even Zach Wilson doesn't want to play for them anymore. Like, that's how bad it is. Texans win, Strouds win. And Houston still fighting for that division title. I mean, hey, both the Colts and the Texans are a game behind the Jaguars. if the Browns win and both the Colts and the Texans win like I have them winning, things could get spicy. I'm just saying. Then you have the LA Rams taking on the Baltimore Ravens. The Rams putting on a show against the Cleveland Browns, but now they go and they face another AFC North opponent in the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens were resting up last week on their bye and try and finish out this season strong. I do have the Ravens winning this game. It is Lamar Jackson and a kind of healthy Ravens team, which doesn't happen very often. So yeah, Ravens win, and the battle for the North still ensues. Then you have the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. The Vikings, well, they had a bye, which they very much needed after their loss. But at least Justin Jefferson's coming back. You got JJ coming back. Yeah. I swear, if you guys lose this game to the Raiders and after JJ comes back, I am going to be in shambles. Actually, no, I'm just going to be mad at you. It's Josh Dobbs. Like, come on, man. And yeah, you had the Raiders also on a bye. They didn't play last week either. And of course, in their previous match against the Chiefs, well, we all know what happened there. They allowed a second quarter comeback. Or second half comeback. So yeah, their defense, well, their secondary is not that great. Their defensive line is pretty solid, but secondary needs some work. I do have the Vikings winning here, and they need to if they want to make sure they maintain that playoff spot they have at number 6. But yeah, Vikings should win. Emphasis on should. Then you have the Seattle Seahawks taking on the San Francisco 49ers. The Seahawks losing a heartbreaker against the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday in the game that they were winning. And then, well, things happened. And it wasn't pretty. But what more can you do, right? It's the NFL. And then the 49ers, against what was supposed to be the battle of the undefeated Titans, ended up being the battle of the best in the NFC. And the 49ers didn't just win, they dominated the Philadelphia Eagles. And they even had like -6 yards in the first quarter. They basically did it in 3 quarters. Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy being the front runners on that offense that week. But it's that defense. Oh, that defense is so good. Yeah, sure, that secondary could use some help. But that pass rush is more than enough to make up for that loss. It's so lethal. Chase Young, Javon Hargrave, Nick Bosa. Ooh, need I go on? I have the 49ers winning this game. And it's gonna be beautiful. By the way, didn't these two teams play like 2 weeks ago? Maybe I'm tripping. And then you have the Buffalo Bills taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. And yeah, Bills had a bye week, and then the Chiefs lost to the Jordan Love-led Packers. I don't know what's going on with either of these teams. Both teams are on a steady decline right now. The Bills are literally at 500, and they need this win badly. And the Chiefs are rapidly declining. The Bills have been playing pretty well lately, and it is being played in KC. This game could literally go either way. If the Bills want to make the postseason, they need to win this game. because they play Dallas next week, and that's going to be a tough matchup for them. If Kansas City needs to win in order to keep their streak extended against the Denver Broncos, like their lead, because the Broncos are only like 2 games behind them. I am going to pick the Kansas City Chiefs to win. I don't know how much faith I have in that. Because this game could literally go either way. Like, it could legit go either way. But, yeah. Kansas City should win, but are they going to is the question. We'll see that happen on Sunday. And then we have the Denver Broncos taking on the LA Chargers. The Broncos losing a heartbreaker to the Texans, but you got to give props to the Texans defense for that. And then the Chargers, well, they just suck. They just suck. They won 6-0 against the Patriots. They shut the Patriots out, but they got nothing on offense. Not. Zilch. Nada. That's how bad it was. I do have the Broncos winning, and need I resort to my reasoning? The Broncos actually had points last week. I'm sure the Chargers did too, but 6? Are you kidding me? We had 10, and we still lost. Okay, to be fair, our secondary got torched, but that's besides the point. And then, the Sunday night thriller. That could determine the fate of the NFC East. You have the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Wolf. The Eagles losing to the 49ers last week in a game that was probably a preview of what's to come in the NFC Championship game. But the Cowboys last week put on a show, a second half show rather, against the Seattle Seahawks. Finally beating a team with an actual winning record, which is now just 600, but that's besides the point. Just like a 500, 6-6 record, but that's besides the point. The Eagles need to win this game if they want to cement not only the first seed in the NFC, but the division. The Cowboys need this win if they want to win, if they want to get a half a game ahead of the Eagles in the division. Okay, to be fair, even if the Cowboys did manage to somehow lose, I think they would still need to beat the Eagles to lose again, because the Eagles have more conference wins than the Cowboys, and the Eagles already won the first matchup between these two teams by some miracle. But again, regardless, the Cowboys just need to win this game to at least get a chance to take the division lead. This here is a toughie. This is a tough game to predict because both of these teams are hungry for a win, and that was not meant to be a pun. I am going to pick the Eagles to win, only because the Eagles' schedule from here on out is a little easier than the Cowboys' schedule. So if the Eagles win this game, they might actually have the first seed on lock and the division. But they need to get the dub first. Eagles, you have my vote. And let's see what you do with it. Then, the first of 2 Monday night games. And actually, the last Monday night game, well, actually, not quite, but one of the few select week, when the last of the 3 weeks with Monday night games. The first one is the Tennessee Titans taking on the Miami Dolphins. The Titans and the Mailman. almost pulling it off against the Colts, sending that sucker in the overtime, but unable to finish. The Dolphins walloping the Commanders, and it wasn't even funny. But it was glorious to watch. I am picking the Dolphins to win. They're going up against the Titans, who are a declining team right now. Basically, at this point, just tanking for a pick. And, yep, Dolphins, you get the win. And Tyreek Hill gets another monstrous game. Also, A-Chain's back, so that's nice. Then you have the last one, the Green Bay Packers taking on the New York Giants. The Packers, undefeated in December under Matt LaFleur, showing that off by beating the Kansas City Chiefs. And to be fair, the Packers don't have it rough these last few weeks. And their hardest game is the Vikings, and that's week 17. And the Vikings are on the decline. So, yeah, the Green Bay Packers haven't made. They're in control of destiny. They're at 6-6, number 7 seed in the NFC playoff picture that Wildflower talked about yesterday. This could be it for the Packers. They could make the postseason if everything goes their way. I am going to pick the Green Bay Packers to get the dub this week. And let's see how they hopefully beat the Giants. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. I went 8-5 last week, putting me at 126 and 67 on the year. Not great, but also not bad either. And this is also the last week of bye weeks, and then the last 4 weeks they have 16 games every week, and it's gonna be beautiful. But who's gonna win these games? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I am your host, and my name is Zach Attack. And as always, you're in Steelers country.